Kurinji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurinji Education Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
In continuation to the last class, in this class we are going to discuss zeroth law of thermodynamics, and after that we will continue to discuss what is heat, internal energy and work conceptually. After that we are going to discuss first law of thermodynamics. Okay ma? Right. See first zeroth law of thermodynamics. Zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay. Right. See here. Imagine two systems, for example A and B, separated by an adiabatic wall. That's what we already discussed in our previous class. So what is adiabatic wall? What is what is adiabatic wall and what is that is what isothermal wall? No, sorry, diathermic wall. What is adiabatic wall? What is diathermic wall? We discussed in previous class. Okay, right. See here. Imagine two systems A and B, capital A and capital B, separated by an adiabatic wall. Okay, right. See, while each is in contact with a third system C. Each is in contact with a third system C. See here like this, in this manner, right? In contact with third system C via a conducting wall. So this is the conducting wall, right? Here it is a conducting wall, right? Now, see here, the states of the systems. That is what is meant by the states of the systems? Their macroscopic variables, right? The states of the systems will change. The states of the systems will change until both A and B come to thermal equilibrium with C. The states of the systems will change until both A and B come to thermal equilibrium with C. Right. After this is achieved, suppose the adiabatic wall between A and B is replaced by a conducting wall and C is insulated from A and B by an adiabatic wall as shown in this figure. As shown in this figure, what will happen? It is found that the states of A and B change no further. They are found to be in thermal equilibrium with each other. Right? So what this observation is telling to us? This observation tells to us, this observation forms the basis of the zeroth law of thermodynamics. So what is the statement of zeroth law of thermodynamics? If two systems are in thermal equilibrium with a third system separately, are also in thermal equilibrium with each other, right? If two systems are in thermal equilibrium with third system separately, then the first two systems, the meaning of this is the first two systems also will be in thermal equilibrium with each other. This is the statement of zeroth law of thermodynamics. This law is formulated by R.H. Fowler, scientist R.H. Fowler, but this law is formulated after formulating first law and second law. That's why there is no number to put. That's why he has given the number, that is what the zeroth law of thermodynamics, right? Here you can see this picture. In this picture, systems A and B separated by an adiabatic wall and insulating wall that does not allow flow of heat. Here you can see the same systems A and B separated by a diathermic wall, that is a conducting wall, allows heat to flow from one to another, right? In this case, thermal equilibrium is attained here. Here is no chance, right? Next, see, the zeroth law clearly suggests that when two systems A and B are in thermal equilibrium, there must be a physical quantity that has the same value for both. This thermodynamic variable whose value is equal for two systems. This thermodynamic variable whose value is equal for two systems in thermal equilibrium is called temperature. Right? Okay. Thus, if capital A and capital B are separately in equilibrium, with capital C, TA is equal to TC and TB is equal to TC. This implies that TA also will become equal to TB. That is, the systems A and B are also in thermal equilibrium. Right? Okay. And I want to say some more information. That is what we have arrived at the concept of temperature formally via the zeroth law. See, what is the next question arises generally? How to assign numerical values of temperatures for different bodies. Numerical values to temperatures of different bodies. Right? In other words, how do we construct a scale of temperature? Thermometry deals with this basic question, which we intern in the next section. Okay, that's we are going to see in the next section. That is what is heat and what is internal energy and what is work. Right? See here. So till now we discussed the zeroth law of thermodynamics. If you concise the zeroth law of thermodynamics as simple as such, this is the statement which is final. That's all. Okay. So unless we have to recap this statement again and again, then we will come to realize what is there actually with the help of these four pictures. Here we have only two systems, but here we have three systems. But zeroth law of thermodynamics is telling the importance of three systems because we have to take these two pictures. Next, heat, internal energy and work. Right? See here. See, what is heat means, that we already know. See, the zeroth law of thermodynamics led us to understand, right? Led us to the concept of temperature that agrees with our common sense notion, because the temperature is a marker which gives the hotness or coldness of a body, right? And we can also say that the temperature determines the direction of flow of heat when two bodies are placed in thermal contact. I already discussed to you many times, heat flows always from a body at high temperature to the body at lower temperature. When this flow starts, when there will be a thermal equilibrium, right? And in detail, we have seen in detail how to construct temperature scales to assign temperature to different bodies. We now describe the concepts of heat and other relevant quantities like internal energy and work. See, heat we already discussed because it is a form of energy. Heat is a form of energy. It flows from a body at high temperature to the body at low temperature. Even in our previous class also we discussed some more information about the heat. Now we are going to discuss the concept of internal energy, right? This is what about heat and what is meant by internal energy. Actually, the term internal energy in case of a gas or some other substance is difficult to define, difficult to understand also, right? But we know very well every bulk system consists of a large number of molecules. Am I right? Okay. Internal energy is simply the sum of the kinetic energies and potential energies of these molecules, right? Very important point. Suppose if you take a gas molecule, because for sake of easy understanding, if you take a gas container, the internal energy of that particular gas means that is the sum of the potential energy and kinetic energy of all the gas molecules present in the container. Okay, that is right. Now we remarked earlier that in thermodynamics the kinetic energy of the system as a whole is not relevant. Internal energy is thus the sum of molecular kinetic and potential energies. Internal energy is thus the sum of molecular kinetic and potential energies. In the frame of reference, relative to which the center of mass of the system is at rest. Relative to which the center of mass of the system is at rest. See what is meant by center of mass? Center of mass means what? An imaginary point where the total mass of an object, here the mass of all the gas molecule, the sum of mass of all the gas molecule is supposed to concentrate, is simply called as center of mass. Okay, and it includes only the energy associated with the random motion of molecules of the system, right? Generally we are using capital U to represent internal energy. Now see, though we have invoked the molecular picture to understand the meaning of internal energy as far as thermodynamics is concerned, right? It is a common thing. Now see, the symbol U is simply, the internal energy is simply a macroscopic variable of the system. But here the important thing is about internal energy is that it depends only on the state of the system, not on how that state was achieved, how it was achieved, right? Okay. See, internal energy U of a system is an example of a thermodynamic state variable. Internal energy U of a system is an example of a thermodynamic state variable. Its value depends only on the given state of the system, not on history. That is, not on the path taken to arrive at the state. Okay, so that's why what can we say? The internal energy of a given mass of a gas depends on its state. The internal energy of a given mass of gas depends on its state, described by specific values of pressure, volume and temperature. The internal energy of a given mass of a gas depends on its state, described by specific values of pressure, volume and temperature, right? Okay. See, it does not depend on how the state of the gas came about. It does not depend on how the state of gas came about, right? Okay. See, I want to say some more information regarding these macroscopic quantities like pressure, volume, temperature and internal energy are thermodynamic state variables of the system. That's what we already discussed in our previous class also. Okay, right. For example, if you neglect the small intermolecular forces in a gas, the internal energy of a gas is just the sum of kinetic energies associated with various random motions of its molecules. See, because the gas container, in case of gas container, when compared to the kinetic energy of the gas molecules, the potential energy values are negligible. That's why we are considering mostly the kinetic energy of the gas molecules as the internal energy. Okay, that is. Now, see, but here we have to consider, right? We have to consider, that is, a gas in this motion is not only translational, it also includes rotational and vibrational motion of the molecules. Okay. In our next class, kinetic theory of gases, we will discuss clearly about what is the internal energy and calculating internal energy, what is degree of freedom, etc. Okay, right. See, now one more question arises in our mind, that is, what are the ways of changing internal energy of a system, right? Consider again. For simplicity, for example, the system to be a certain mass of gas, for simplicity, the system to be a certain mass of gas contained in a cylinder with a movable piston. The system to be a certain mass of gas contained in a cylinder with a movable piston. Okay, that is one thing. And the experience, right? The experience shows there are two ways of changing the state of the gas. Experience shows there are two ways of changing the state of the gas, right? One way is to put the cylinder in contact with a body at a higher temperature than that of the gas. One way is to put the cylinder in contact with a body at a higher temperature than that of the gas, right? See, what will happen? The temperature difference will cause a flow of energy from the hotter body to the gas, thus increasing the internal energy of the gas. So, resultantly the internal energy of the gas will be increased. This is one way, right? What is another way? What is the another way to change the state of the gas? What is the one way we discussed? What is another way? Means It is to push the piston down. It is to push the piston down to do work on the system, which again results in increasing the internal energy of the gas. Of course, both these things, first one and second one, could happen in the reverse direction. With surroundings at a lower temperature. Okay. Heat would flow from the gas to the surroundings. Okay, right. In short, heat and work are two different modes. Actually, in short form, if you want to say, means heat and work are two different modes of altering the state of a thermodynamic system and changing its internal energy. You see here, certain amount of heat is applied to the system, or a certain amount of work was done by the system, right? That's what I am coming to the point. See here, the notion of heat should be carefully distinguished from the notion of internal energy. Heat is certainly energy, but it is the energy in transit. It flows from one body to another body. This is not just a play of words, right? So the distinction is of basic significance. The state of a thermodynamic system is characterized by its internal energy, not the heat, right? What is the statement you can give, ma? See, a gas is a given state has a certain amount of energy, means it is a meaningless statement. A gas in a given state has a certain amount of heat, means it is a meaningless statement. So what is the statement you can correct? See here, a gas in a given state has a certain amount of internal energy is a meaningful statement. This is what this energy we are calling it as internal energy, right? Next, a certain amount of heat is applied to the system, or certain amount of work was done by the system, are perfectly meaningful. See, what is perfectly meaningful means this is a certain amount of heat is applied to the system, or a certain amount of work was done by the system. Okay, that is. Next, to summarize heat and work in thermodynamics. Are not state variables. Okay, right. They are modes of energy transfer. To a system resulting in change in its internal energy. They are modes of energy transfer to a system resulting in change in its internal energy, right, which has already mentioned is a state variable, right. See, in ordinary language, usual language, what can we say means we often confuse heat with internal energy. So how we can convey that meaning of internal energy and heat means, see, the difference between them is sometimes ignored in elementary, right, physics books. That is what for proper understandings, here of thermodynamics. However, the distinction is crucial. So distinction is compulsory, right? Distinction is compulsory for us to distinguish heat and internal energy to understand in deep, right? So as simple as us in this information, what he is saying regarding the internal energy is certain amount of heat is applied to the system, or a certain amount of work. A gas in a given state has a certain amount of internal energy, right? I want to simplify the total information what I spoke about internal energy. That is, for example, if you take a gas container, each and every gas molecule is going to move even at low temperature, right? Okay. See, that's why see, the sum of kinetic energies of all the gas molecules is considered as the internal energy of that particular gas container or that particular gas. That's what I want to conclude. Okay, right. You can see two pictures here, ma. So these pictures, see, if you see this picture, it is what internal energy of a gas is the sum of the kinetic and potential energy of its molecules when the box is at rest. Okay. So the kinetic energy is due to various types. Kinetic energy is due to various types of motion. That is what translational, rotational and vibrational, right? And B is the same box is moving. This box is in motion as a whole with some velocity. The kinetic energy of the box is not to be included in capital U here. Next, if you see this picture, what can we say? Heat and work. Heat and work are two distinct modes of energy transfer to a system that results in change in its internal energy, right? That is what A. Heat is energy transfer due to the temperature difference between the system and the surroundings. Next, next one, like B. Work is energy transfer brought about. Work is energy transfer brought about by means, for example, moving the piston by rising or lowering some weight connected to it. Okay. That is what that do not involve such a temperature difference. So as simple as such, B is work is energy transfer brought about by means. Okay. So these pictures, this is what indicating like what is the heat and work, and it is what when the box is at rest, and this is what when the box is in motion. Okay, right. And after completion of this class, you need to go through the textual reading also, textbook reading also. Further, if we have any doubts, we will discuss through another platform, right? Regarding this chapter thermodynamics, because every quantity like quantum energy, work, heat, zeroth law of thermodynamics, so next first law of thermodynamics, so everything we have to understand deeply, then it helps a lot for us. So for deeper understanding, so first a YouTube video, and then we have to go through the textbook reading also. Right. Next, what is first law of thermodynamics? What is first law of thermodynamics? See here. See, this is the mathematical form, or that is what general principle of conservation of energy. Delta Q means heat supplied to the system by the surroundings. Delta W means work done by the system on the surroundings. Delta W means work done by the system on the surroundings. Delta U means change in internal energy of the system. Delta U is change in internal energy of the system, right? So wholly can write it as delta Q is equal delta U plus delta W, right? Okay. See, what can we say here? The energy supplied to the system goes in partially. The energy supplied to the system goes in partially to increase the internal energy of the system. To increase the internal energy of the system, and the rest in work on the environment. And the rest is in work on the environment. That is what work done by the system on the surroundings. And this equation I already told you, which is known as first law of thermodynamics. Okay. So first law of thermodynamics, actually it is a general law of conservation of energy. General law of conservation of energy applied to any system in which the energy transfer from it to the surroundings is taken into account. So the alternative form is just you take this delta W to this side, delta Q minus delta W is also equal to delta U. Okay, right. By taking a small example, you can understand here different situations, right? See, what are the different situations? Means different situations are special cases. For example, if you take a system which is going from initial state to the final state in a number of ways. For example, to change the state of a gas from P1 V1 to P2 V2, we can first change the volume of the gas from V1 to V2, keeping its pressure constant. That is, we can first go to the state P1 V2 and then change the pressure of the gas from P1 to P2, keeping the volume constant to take the gas to P2 V2. Alternatively, we can first keep the volume constant. Alternately, we can first keep the volume constant and then keep the pressure constant. Since internal energy is a state variable, the change in internal energy depends only on the initial and final states and do not on the path taken by the gas to go from one to other. That's what we discussed here. When we had a discussion about internal energy, I told you. But anyhow, however, delta Q and delta W will in general depend on the path taken to go from the initial to final states, right? So from this statement, that is what from this first law of thermodynamics, it is clear that the combination delta Q minus delta W is however path independent, because delta Q minus delta W means it will give you delta U. It is path independent. This shows that if a system is taken through a process in which delta U is equal to 0. Delta U is equal to 0 means what? It is isothermal expansion of ideal gas. When delta U is equal to 0, then what will happen? Delta Q will become equal to delta W. That is one thing, right? In another way, suppose if heat supplied to the system is used up entirely by the system in doing work on the environment, this is the case. Suppose otherwise, if the system is a gas in a cylinder with a movable piston, the gas in moving the piston does the work, right? Suppose for example, you just imagine a cylinder with gas, a system in a gas cylinder with a movable piston. The gas in moving the piston does some work. Generally, you know that force is pressure times area, and area times displacement is volume. Work done by the system against a constant pressure. Work done by the system against a constant pressure. Delta W is equal to P into del V. Delta W is equal to P into del V, right? Where delta V is the change in volume of the gas. Delta V is the change in volume of the gas, right? Thus, so in this case, delta Q is equal to delta U plus P into delta V. Delta Q is equal to delta U plus P into delta V, right? This is what you can say. Next, see, already we discussed the equation. So from this also we are writing this one. From this only we are writing, but delta W is equal to P into delta V, right? Okay. Here I will tell you a small example, that is what application to daily life. Suppose if we consider the change in internal energy for 1 gram of water, when we go from its liquid to vapor phase, right? See, the measured latent heat of water, you know, already we discussed in our previous chapter, that is 2256 joule per gram. That is for 1 gram of water, delta Q is equal to 2256 joule. So at atmospheric pressure, 1 gram of water has a volume of 1 centimeter cubed in liquid phase and 1671 centimeter cubed in vapor phase. Therefore, what about the work? Delta W is equal to P into Vg minus V1 or Vg minus, okay, right, V2 minus V1 or Vg minus VL, because gaseous state and liquid state, right? That is equal to P is 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5, that's already you know, into 1670 into 10 to the power of minus 6, that is equal to 169.2 joules, right? Okay. So that is the amount of work done in case of 1 gram of water. 1 gram of water, right? That's what you can say. So what can we say? Most of the heat goes to increase. Most of the heat goes to increase the internal energy of water in transition from the liquid to the vapor phase. Okay, right. So in this class, we discussed 0th law of thermodynamics and then conceptual understanding of heat, internal energy and work. Mostly we concentrated on internal energy, and work means as usually we came to discuss many times, but there is a difference. The definition of work, what we discussed in case of mechanics and here, and after that we came to discuss first law of thermodynamics, right? So I request you once again, after completion of this, watching this video class, you please go through the textual reading, underline each and every important point. Further, if you have any doubts, we will discuss in another platform, right? Okay. Thank you.